of advice, and not preparing can't be the piece of advice from all four of you, what would you say the number one thing we need to take away from this is?
Me. Oh, I have a mic, right?
Yes,
Does it work? I don't know.
here.
Okay, just to be safe
Yes.
that it's getting across. So what I think is really what I always want to communicate the most is do not be afraid to be specific. Be as specific as you can. If we are being vague or general, our message will not land and we are not really supporting our goals. So do not be afraid of being concrete and even more concrete.
So I would say what I told you in Vegas, which is that everybody has a story and you're not doing enough to tell it. Every single one of you has a story. And for whatever reason, you're not in the right place, you're not ready, you think you needed a PR firm, you didn't know how to do it, you're honing your message, you're not doing it enough. But the audience needs to hear from you. In my 25 years in journalism, we use the same experts over and over again. You see the same doctor on Good Morning America talking about whatever the illness is. You see the same real estate agent, you see the same lawyer opining on whatever the Supreme Court decision is. Why is that? It's not that journalists are lazy, although there are some journalists who are lazy. More, it's a function of, it's 10 a.m., they've been given a story, they're not on at 6 anymore, they're on in an hour. We've got 24-hour cable news, we've got streaming now, NBC News has a streaming channel, everybody has a streaming channel. So they have to get something online right away. They don't have time to wait for 2 days to find an expert. So who do they go to? They go to an expert that does 3 things really, really well. They always answer the phone. You can answer the phone, right? They're always available. You can make yourself available. And they're a soundbite machine. And you've learned here how to become that soundbite machine. So my takeaway is journalists need you. Many of you coming here may have thought that I have to wait for a journalist to call me, or I need a huge team to help me. But you don't. Journalists are looking for experts every single day. You're all experts. They need you. And so it's incumbent upon you to tell your story, to reach out, not just to journalists, but to stages and events and podcasts. I implore you to reach out and tell your story.
Okay, so I think that what I would say is that, so if God or whatever you believe in, some creature that knew everything, whatever, right? Like God works, right? If God came down and looked you in the eyes and said, hey, you know all those wonderful things that people say about you? And you know those talents that people tell you you have and you're like, oh, me, not really, and you wonder about them and you feel insecure sometimes and all that? If like the supreme being came and said, hey, you know what, you have all that and more. You really, really do. You don't even have to worry about that ever again. You have all that and more. My question to you would be, what would you now be responsible for? What would you now be responsible for, right? Because you all have amazing talents and you have so much to offer. And if you're anything like me, there are moments when you get mired down in like, am I good enough and can I really do this? And everybody else is smarter and richer and better looking and whatever. You are so far above that. You know what I mean? So my one takeaway that I hope you would get is that you've seen a glimpse of just really how powerful and wonderful you are. It's kind of like Marianne Williamson said, right? Like, it's not our darkness that we're afraid of, it's our light. Like, who am I to be that wonderful and amazing, right? Yeah, well, who are you not to be, right? So that would be what I would say. Like, just go for it. Because, you know, this is not a forever game. You don't have forever. Neither do I. So let's make the most of every moment we have and just go take it, go bring it, you know?
All right, well, okay, I'll use the microphone. So I would say to each one of you, having had a chance to do that intimate podcast interview, and it's going to be a variation of what's already been said, but really to step into your power and your authority. I could sense the beginning of each one of our conversations, there was still that trepidation, that like, I could get it. You guys are experts. You guys were schooling me on stuff that I was like, that's a thing? Why is that a thing? And here you are taking the risk to try to step into that void and fix the thing that I didn't even know was this thing. So I would say, going forward, when you talk about whatever it is, talk about it from a place of authority. Yes, I am. And again, I'm not saying arrogance in terms of putting someone else down, like, oh, God, you don't know this. I'm talking about that, just that confidence of like, yeah, there is a gap that isn't being filled. And I am taking the risk to fill that gap because each one of you are, and I was blown away.
Next question, I think was Jane.
Okay, I think mine is very, on a variation. So during the podcast and the guest speaking on a stage and like journalist report on a news channel and in a LinkedIn, is there consistent challenges that many people here were having that you want to reiterate that we might have covered, but
That's a good
people may
question.
not have pulled up or recognized? Is there something you want to reiterate as a key that we should all be doing because it was not just one person, multiple people had that challenge?
So I would say this almost as a joke, but it's true too. Prepare.
I would say a couple. Oh, did you want to go?
No,
Oh,
no.
I would say a couple things. The reason we do the soundbite workshop is to try and reorder your natural answer. So, well, I think, I believe, well, there was a study, well, let me give you the background, the context. Okay, well, 3 years ago, no. Just cut to the chase. Give me the declarative sense, and then you can go into the backstory, which is a corollary to John's origin story. You don't start when you were born, and you don't start necessarily today, right? What is your greatest failure, your setback, and the lesson and the insightful vulnerability? So with an answer, I would like to encourage all of you to remember when the journalist asks the question, just cut to the chase. Give them that soundbite off the top. Don't save it, because the viewer may leave you by the time that you choose to reveal it. You feel like you're building up to your moment, the viewer's already left. So just cut to the chase.
Next question.
I'm happy to add on that actually. So one thing that I see is a mistake across social media channels and maybe PR, I'm not so sure, is that actually what you had on your slides, to be of service, to really be audience focused and audience first rather than, you know, almost like having a check box before you put something out. Ask yourself, is this screaming me? I'm honored to, I did this, I also have this certification. Or is it insights driven, can be a story, can be an interesting fact, but is it serving my audience rather than is it serving me? And if the answer is yes, that's usually the recipe for success.
So instead of posting, I'm honored to be on this panel, or I was proud to be at this event, start with a lesson or a story, and then 5-6 lines in, I was honored to be there, or whatever. But being of service, you're starting with that story or that takeaway.
Amazing. Next question. Mary?
So I think everyone here is confident in their jobs, what they do daily. And doing this takes you out of that comfort zone. So how do you, besides the exercises and the preparedness and practicing and talking with yourself and getting the monkey out of your head and putting him in the trunk, as Martin said, right? How do you work on that so that the interaction with the media, or LinkedIn, or any social media, becomes less intimidating.
Jenna, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I'm trying to think here. I would say because I'll be perfectly honest, so having been trained as a journalist, one of the core tenets of that is that it's story first. It's always like you're in service of the story, and you're not supposed to be the star of anything. You're just there to be the conduit through which the story comes. And in this new iteration of my career, I've had to step into sort of the star role, and that's incredible. Like, listen, even for me, I'm just like, I'm not comfortable, and I don't really like this. But what I've found is that, and again, it's a sense of confidence that I think grows from trusting and knowing. Like, again, you said you guys are excellent at what you do already. You have the confidence and the expertise. It's being able to find that confidence and translate that into your presence in whatever it is, be it public speaking or online, if you're, decide to do YouTube channels, which apparently everybody's doing now, or TikToks or whatever. That is really, really what I think really sells it for people. And on a further note, I'll even say, because there's aspects of the, I don't know what it's called now because I just sold the company TikTok, but whatever it is in like the next few weeks. One of the things that I found that I've seen that makes people connect so much with an audience, it's not when they're being polished, it's not when they're being perfect. It's a little sloppy, it's a little messy, but it's real and authentic. And that's really what, and I can say this across the board, being a podcast or social media, or maybe not in a broadcast report, because there's FCC rules there, but in that space, in the digital space, authenticity is so key to what it is that audiences connect with. And Svenja, I mean, you would definitely know better on this. Like, is that something that you find to be really important?
Yeah, I agree 100%. And to first of all, not try of any shortcuts, like, oh, let me just play it safe, for example, by using AI or by being vague in general. That's not really helping you. So don't play it safe and stay on, like, continue posting. Maybe someone in your circle of friends or in your network makes a comment, and that will happen because when you do step out of your comfort zone and get more attention, you will not only get applause, and I see a lot of people that kind of stop once they just had one comment that was not serving them or applauding them, and just kind of accepting that as part of the journey and staying consistent is really important.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's almost like going to the gym. The same with your content and personal branding. It needs repetition and repetition and repetition, and that's what matters more than one really good session or one viral post.
Can you also address comparing yourself to others? Because like with what I do, there are other organizations, so you can get caught in the trap, right?
Oh, well, that one I've got an answer for. The other organizations don't have you.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
really, I mean, it sounds like, oh my God, that's so cheesy, that's sweet. But no, very seriously, somebody said that to me once. Somebody else may have told the same story as you did, or somebody else may have done the same content, but what makes it unique is the you factor. And it's just a matter of you being confident in who you are. Again, presenting that in a digital space, because you can be completely confident in your life, just living your life privately. It's when you put it out there that now you want to kind of shrink a little bit because, oh my God, the public can be so mean. Haters gonna hate, you can't really do anything about that. And yeah, it's the you factor that makes it different. Like, again, your story as to how you got to where you are doing the work that you're doing isn't necessarily, yes, ultimately getting dogs to veterans is a lot of organizations, but you have a unique story, and not everybody else has that.
I would say too, comparison is the thief of joy,
Oh, yes.
right? right? And I was taught a long time ago, comparison is a pitfall. And it's true. And backing up what you said, there is someone out there who would never hear what these other people were saying, even though it's the same thing you're saying. But when you stand up with your unique set of like skill sets and oddities and strangeness and point of view and just all the weird things you all have, that unique combination of all the different pieces, that person will hear it when you say it. They will never hear it when someone else says it.
And we're all in different paths.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of my mentors shared with me when I was feeling that way, but what if the person who needs to hear your message, what if you refuse to deliver it to them? Look at this panel of speakers. What if they said, I'm not confident, I'm not sure, there's other people who do LinkedIn, right? There's other people who've been on it. If they all said that, we wouldn't be here today. And that, when someone said that to me, that made it so much easier for me to say, oh, this is my responsibility because there's someone that needs to hear what I have to say, like what our speakers have shared. Next question.
A twofer. You're like a journalist with a follow-up.
And this one's gonna be rough. Mark, John, Nick. So, what the rest of the group doesn't know is how I met you guys, well, they kinda do, we've talked about it. But what they don't know about is the journey that happened after that. And how I almost backed out on being here. And got on the phone with you guys, and you sold me, you pitched me, you sold me some more. Was still a little bit of skeptical. But what you guys didn't know you were selling were the connections that were made here this weekend. And I want to say thank you to you guys, you ladies, and your team, and all the rest of you here, because I've said it a few times today, right place, right time, right opportunity.
Oh.
And there have been connections made that I know are going to be extremely long-lasting partnerships that I can already see are going to benefit each other. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes next.
Yes.
I do appreciate you guys taking the time, even while I was sweating my ass off in my truck, to say, no, we got to figure out how to get you here.
Yeah.
You know, I really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you for betting on yourself
Yeah.
and for trusting us.
Yes.
And on that note, if you have not accepted my invite to our private LinkedIn group, please do so that you can all be connected.
Can I
Svenja?
say something on
Yes.
that? So those invites, they do not come through. We can only find them, and this is what we did in the LinkedIn room today. If we manually search the name of the group, and then we see, okay, accept. But somehow
That's interesting.
There was no notification sent out.
I got a notification.
You kept mentioning it, and I was like, what is
You got yours?
I got a notification I to did join. too.
I didn't.
It's Media Mastery Experts Alumni Group.
Yeah.
And then you can click accept, and you will see, for example, the book handbook that I uploaded there with 15 templates you can use in addition to the prompt, and lots of other. Really
Everybody's in there from the past events and our course and all that. Amr?
Mine's not a question as much as going back to your point about amplification on LinkedIn. We are now all in the same group on LinkedIn, and so I think we should all support each other when anyone does a post. All of us should comment on each other's posts in this group, and that's going to really help us all tremendously. So.
Yeah.
And you'll see that attendees at other events do that. And I would encourage you to do what I do, which is put the bell on for all of you so that you know, as Svenja has preached, you know when somebody posts so that you can interact. And correct me if I'm wrong, you said, I think, either here or the last one, 30 to 60 minutes after a post is the sweet spot to start engaging.
Yeah, I mean within the first hour or 30 minutes is really the sweet spot. And I mean we can test this maybe, but if we actually spark a conversation not by having individual individual post, but you commenting something and then me joining on that comment, that is the ultimate spark of a conversation, and it would be interesting to see what happens with the impressions if we do that. I've never done that as an experiment, but why not?
And in the LinkedIn group, we encourage you all to, of course, share your wins and ask questions, and other attendees do that in the group.
Yes.
I'd
Yeah.
be willing to say, give us a little bit of time to update our profiles based on the feedback you gave
Yeah.
us.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd be willing to add something to my calendar and take time out of my day, which is a lot for me. It's really hard when I get going, but I would take time out of my day to
Yeah.
see how your experiment works.
Let's do it.
I'll engage it.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
All right.
Cool.
I have a question. I'm gonna put you on the hot seat, so no one will wait for me. So would you prefer that the attendees taking all the skills and tools that they've learned here to go after the TED Talk, go after the journalist, go after the keynote? Would you prefer for them to do that first, or to perfect their keynote or their pithy lines?
Is it either or? And you have a great saying, don't wait for.
A leading question.
Don't, what do I say?
You say, don't wait for TED.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, so for sure. I mean, I say it so much I can't even remember it.
We had to cut out the teleprompter for this one, so we don't have our prompts to answer your question.
But no, because people always say that, right? Umar, we talked about it a little bit, right? Not exactly this, but people are always like, oh, I want to give a TEDx talk on it. And I'm like, look, don't wait for TED. Create that TED-worthy talk and go give it anywhere. Give it everywhere, right? And so I think that right now, I wouldn't recommend that you go say yes to a $5,000 keynote if you don't have a thing you know you're going to talk about yet, right? Like, that's a little too much, right? Because when you go out on that stage to speak, they're going to be recording, either on purpose or somebody with a phone. And I think that the speaking world is less forgiving now than it used to be, right? If you got a video of you on stage blowing it, people are like, oh, well, we're not going to hire that person, right? So you want to go out with something good. And at the same time, don't die with your song inside you. Be willing to go out and do, I love the saying, the perfect is the enemy of the good, right? Go do good instead of waiting to do perfect. Now, go update your profile, right? Go do your LinkedIn thing, fix that. That's not going to take you that long. Go do that and then go for it, right? Because you are all experts. And part of the whole thing is just being out there doing the reps. That's what that was my answer along with you is there's something to just reps, in this realm now. This is a new realm, do the reps.
And we get a lot of people that we talk to and they say, well, I'll come to you when I've got my book done. I'll come to you when I've got my talk done. I've got, when everything is perfect and my kids are out of high school and I'm I'll come to you. Tomorrow is today. And so I try to encourage, we all try to encourage people to start. We had somebody who was at this event last time, they're in our course, Dr. Nicole, and she already wrote her book. It hadn't been published yet, and so we, on our mock TV interview, we held up the cover around another book, so she'd have the video when her book drops. She was in our course for 2 weeks, so she joined the course at the event, and then she was in it. 2 weeks later, she's like, I'm going back and rewriting the entire first chapter of my book using what I learned at Media Mastery Experts. Don't wait. Don't wait to master your message and amplify your influence and all that stuff. Just start. Just start. It's never going to be a perfect time.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick. Panda?
Next question. Let's move into a couple of takeaways. You will be amazed what different takeaways come from a group of people. And so I'd love to hear, let's do 3 takeaways. So who would like to do takeaway?
What are you taking away?
If anything.
Yeah.
Hopefully something.
If not, we can wrap, it's fine.
You got a media mastery cookie.
I can't.
Yeah, you got a cookie.
Wait,
What more do you want?
I
Okay, because I was worried about
Condense your message into sound bites.
Say that again.
Condense your message into sound bites.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
This is what I'm working on. So
afraid to be authentic.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. And Jason is the only one who brought me swag, so not saying that he's my favorite, but just saying he's the only one that brought me swag.
A takeaway from row 2.
That actually, why don't you give that piece of advice you gave me?
Okay,
Because
so here,
that was-
so real quick, sorry Matt, real quick, what Jason did is so his brand is Hatted Handyman, right? Hatted Handyman. So he wore his hat on set with his very nice suit, and he brought an extra hat. Now I knew what was going to happen, but he put it down below, and we're going through the interview, and it hadn't happened yet. So I thought, we're in minute 5 or something, we're about to wrap up, and he says organically in his answer, and I asked him about his brand and the hat, and so he brings out the second hat, and he says, here, I have a gift for you, as the anchor, as the host. So what did I do? I held up the hat to my isolated camera, we call it an ISO. I said, and here's the hat, Hatted Handyman, all this stuff. So I told him afterwards, it was super clever to do. One, it's a nice thing. But when you give somebody a swag item live on the air, they must do something with it, or they look rude. So he is guaranteed that I didn't just say his brand in the beginning when I introduced him, not just at the end when I thanked him for being on the program, he guaranteed another mention by giving me this swag. You're forcing the hand of the anchor or the host, essentially, because they want to be a good person. So I don't know if that's your experience, but he did it super suave, and so
Very
major
slow.
props.
I happened to catch that in the monitor, and I was just like, well done.
Yes, well done, sir.
It wasn't even fully planned. Like, I wish
Although
I
I
had
didn't
another
get a
hat.
hat,
No,
so,
I
like-
Wow.
I will,
Wow.
Listen, I will tell you what. I will send everybody some swag.
Oh my gosh, look at
That's
that.
your dress.
All right, sorry, Matt. Please.
I can't remember what I was going to say now. I appreciated that exchange much more. I think for me, it's about, John, what you were saying about speaking on stage and just, you're there to cast the energy on the people in the room, not to have, the spotlight on you.
Yeah.
And just sort of changing and reorienting that
Yeah.
is really, really critical. Really critical.
Good.
I believe I was telling Sheila on the way back that having access to 4 different types of media in such a short amount of time, you instantly, what's coming, right? We have our schedule. But it's wrapping your mind around how you're going to interact in every single medium. And that was really interesting for me. That takeaway and that mindset readjustment was interesting that I had not anticipated.
I think that's cool.
Mhm.
And it's intentional.
And
We don't have 4 there's only one John Bates, but we don't have 4 speakers, we don't have 4 media people, we don't have 4 LinkedIn, each of us has such a unique
Oh, yeah.
experience and backdrop. When you stitch it all together, it's media with, the big M, right? Media, and it's a very holistic approach.
It's full circle.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
Yeah.
complementary.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very
it's,
much.
it's more like a collaboration and complementary than a competition, because in
Oh, yeah.
reality, you can compete with each other,
Well,
right?
our unofficial motto is, hey, you got chocolate in my peanut butter. And that's what I think it all is.
And you can't Google this. That's the other
Yeah,
unofficial
and
motto. You can't Google this, yeah.
That's the other unofficial one.
All right, let's do one more takeaway from the 3rd row. 3rd row, okay, how about me and
So grateful to be here. Each and every single one of you gave so much of your time and your energy and encouraged us to be our best. And Jenna, thank you for, bringing it out in me in the room.
It was so in there.
Thank you for that. And you made it really easy to communicate. I love the podcast. I love the interaction. I love the conversation. I love that realm a
Mhm.
lot. And I got a lot out of it. Thank you.
Oh, I'm really, really glad that you did. And building on the different types of media things, the other thing that I think is so special about this is that you get appreciation. So, of course, the media becomes this giant boogeyman, and you guys all now have a clear understanding there's a different muscle to flex with each different kind of medium within the media. It is not one giant monolith by any stretch. And again, you guys are all experts in that now because you know that better than most Americans do.
John, Snoop Dogg all the way. Don't be nervous, be of service.
For shizzle my nizzle.
And your book, I'm excited to go back and read the book that you gifted us.
Oh, that's right.
With the
That
stickers.
book.
Yeah.
Did you get him to sign
I
it?
love it.
No.
Oh, he'll sign it for you.
Yeah.
His John Hancock. He has an extra one.
Yeah, I got some more. If I'll hang out if you'd like.
That'd be amazing. And so much to learn, so much more to learn. And Mark, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. Thank you. I'm so grateful that you encouraged me to be here and you cheered me on and got me out of my comfort zone and forced me to get the words out of my mouth. And I know I'm on my way, and you have built something so incredible. And I'm so proud of you. If y'all didn't know, I've known Mark since I was in kindergarten. And
4 years old. She's put up with me for that long.
can you imagine how different we were in school? I mean, I was like, "Woo!" That's why he knew me, because I was loud in class. He was just like this.
And
right?
some things
And I'm
don't
like,
change.
Hi, Mark! Hi! And he's just, and then we reconnected at our high school reunion, and, I'm like, hey, do you remember this guy and this person? He's like, Leanne, I just want to get out of high school and go do my thing. And you have done above and beyond. I mean, this is a dream, and there's so many more people. I mean, you have worked so hard for 25 years in broadcasting, and you became a true expert. Now you're passing it on to so many people, and that's what it's all about, is, passing on what you have been given, and that's incredible. I'm just I'm excited to share with other people to come here.
Thank you, Leanne. Well, and I hope you do. Our next one is April 23rd to the 26th. And actually, one thing that John and I, sorry, I don't want to interrupt because I know I want Svenja to get her due. One of the things we're doing different this time is that if you know somebody that you absolutely feel in your gut needs to be here, that they need what we're doing, we'd be very grateful for your referrals and for you sending them to us. We're doing something a little bit different because we have found that when we get referrals, those are the best kind of people. The warm referrals, right? We can go speak and buy ads and whatever.
Yeah.
Those are the best type. And so if you send us somebody and they register as a gift, we will send you back $500. That's how important we view warm connections and warm introductions. And the best evangelists for our program are our alumni.
Yeah.
It's all of you. You feel what's here, you feel what's in the room, and more importantly, you all bet on yourself. You took that risk to be here, even though it was uncomfortable and scary and fearful and, oh my God, what am I going to wear and what am I going to do, and I can't possibly go on stage being coached by the TED Talk Coach of the Stars, and Jenna, oh my God, I've listened to her on NPR, what would I do if I actually saw her in person, and Svenja, who's a top, like a top voice on LinkedIn, right? But you all braved that fear and you came here and you're so much stronger because of it, and so we'd be very grateful for your referrals. Thank you, Leanne. Sorry.
Thank you for flying all the way from Dubai
Yeah.
to be here with us. That's
Yeah.
incredible, and I can see why Mark wanted you to be here with us for your brilliance. You're incredible, and you're beautiful on the inside and the outside. I'm so glad to have met you.
Same here.
Thank you, Leanne.
Any other takeaways or questions before we close? Just for tonight, though, those of you who are doing VIP, we'll see you tomorrow. But I want to make sure, have we answered? Oh, yes, sir.
This is just like, how do we get all the stuff from today?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yes, so we will get you deliverables within 30 days. So you'll get all the raw video from the TV portion, the podcast, and here on stage. So for the TV studio, there's 3 different cameras, plus you'll get an edited newscast segment. It'll look like a newscast segment with cheesy music and cheesy graphics and your name on there. And so we'll send that to you. So you can either post the whole thing, you can do excerpts, whatever you want to do. You'll get your headshots, which I think most of you are getting them pretty quick from from Lauren. Lauren was here a second ago.
She was, yeah.
Yeah. So Lauren did a great job. And so all the other deliverables for VIP, we're cutting a 2-minute demo reel for you. You're getting extra headshots. We're doing a done-for-you media bio, which is different than the corporate gobbledygook bio that everybody sends journalists that I don't know what the heck it means. Maybe, Jenna, you get those and it's got big words and I don't know what they would actually say if I put them on camera. We will do a media bio, which clearly talks about your expertise and what you do.
Can I just say I don't know what they say because I don't pay attention?
Oh.
Because there's nothing that grabbing my attention. I'm like, I don't know what they say.
There you go, the best. And then we'll send you social media clips of your appearance with the captions and stuff. So within 30 days, we will send those to you.
And this is a little bit too inside baseball, but I'm going to tell you anyway. We upgraded this time to 4K.
Yeah.
So the files are like 10 times bigger. So be patient with us because like we had to buy a new drive and it's a lot to get across the internet and all that stuff. But it will be super high quality.
Yeah, we just told David to take care of it, so thanks, David. Which reminds me, I do want to thank our team.
Yes.
You've interacted with all of them, from David, who's got to report back to the White House on Monday, or wherever he's assigned, right? Juan, who's going back to Argentina because he runs a 12-person SEO, marketing, advertising, media placement company, incredible. And we've got, where's everybody else? Tamika, head of our Catalyst program here. She works tirelessly here. We've got Lauren, you met, the headshot photographer. We've got Sheila, who's already left, our studio producer. We've got Andrew, who's made sure things work. We've got Panda, who we could not do this for. Real quick, this was her idea. You can blame Panda. She and I met at a small business networking event, eons ago now, and we started talking, and she goes, "You really need to do live events." And I said, "Who do you think I am, Anderson Cooper? Nobody's coming to see Mark Albert at a live event. Are you kidding me?" And she was like, no, let's talk about it. And so we initially built this together, and then of course John and everybody came on board, but it was Panda's spark. So if you loved this, it was my idea. If you hated it, it was Panda's idea. And so we have just amazing people. And then of course, our two speakers here back again, Jenna Flanagan, Svenja Maltzahn here, lending their expertise, just amazing. And of course we have two videographers today. So of course I don't want to forget that. You saw him at the studio, right? Walking around and all of that stuff. And so it takes a huge team to put this all together. And thank you very much for putting up with all of them and all that. And they're amazing. So we couldn't do it without them. Like literally the mics wouldn't work without them. So we're very grateful for everybody in City Club, which put this on. Sadly, City Club is closing in 4 days.
4 days.
4 days after our event, permanently. Yeah, business economics. So we've had our last 3 events here and they're closing.
Yeah.
So as you walk out, please be sure to take your picture by our Amplify Your Influence poster. All the way in the back, 180 degrees back there, we will have our step and repeat and our red carpet. David will be back there, and we would love it if you would consider giving any testimonials you'd like that we could use in the future. John?
If you want me to sign a book, like I'm not attached, but if you want me, I don't know if that makes it worth more or less than eBay, but I would be super happy to sign a book, and if you left yours at the hotel or something, I've got some more. So you just have to promise to give the other one to somebody.
I will. I was just going to say, I'll give the other one as a gift. I know who I'm giving it to, and I'll keep the signed one for me.
Right on.
Jenna, any last words?
I can't think, I mean, there's nothing that I can say that I haven't already, see now I'm stammering because I'm on the spot, that I haven't said already, other than, you guys already have what you need. It's just, just step into it and own it. That's really the only thing that I can think of.
Svenja?
Yes. Actually, not last words, because what I took away from last event was that the event doesn't end here. We will all stay connected, be it on LinkedIn. This is really a community. I'm still in touch with most speakers from last time. You can just send me a DM on LinkedIn and say, hey, look at my banner, what do you think? I will always respond, and I'm sure it's the same for everyone here. So really looking forward to just staying connected.
That's extremely generous too, because I hate to have people help me with my LinkedIn and they're like, I'm done. So that was a
And
very kind
speakers
offer.
don't do that, right?
No,
We're
they
all
don't.
speakers, right?
Mhm.
Speakers don't, when speakers typically, John, correct me if I'm wrong, they leave the event and their work is done.
That's how a lot of them see it.
Is the nature
yeah.
of many speakers.
Yeah.
So again, I am humbled to work with these folks who just give so generously to all of us, because I learn each and every event.
John, anything you would like to part us with? Any words of wisdom?
I mean,
It's the first time
I've been,
I've
sorry?
It's the first time I've seen you speechless.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to decide, and we've been saying be authentic, right? And I won't say anything in particular about anyone or anything. I will just say that there's this part of me. I've always sort of had this thing of like, I kind of hate people, but I love individuals, And I just, like, thank you for being here and restoring my faith in humanity. Thank you for being people who care and who are kind and who pay attention and who have a lot going on and are out there willing to make a difference and take a risk. Because there's no such thing as fearless public speaking. We talked about it, right? It's all courageous. It's all generosity. And it's just really nice to be here with human beings and remind myself that, like, it's not about what I see in the news or other places. It's like, oh, it's you. Thank you. So it's just really, really nice. And then, the other thing that I always remind people of when I'm working with them as speakers is something that I try to stay really present to. The reason that I'm here is because I want to make a difference. And the only way that we as a team get to make a difference is through the generosity of your listening. We could do this if you weren't here, but it would make no difference. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the generosity of your listening, and thank you for allowing us to make a difference.
And I would just say that everybody has a story, and you're vulnerable and raw and risky when you tell it, but it needs to be told. And I can tell you right now, there are tons of journalists who would interview you about your expertise, about your story, about your wisdom, and we all encourage you to tell that story, and we're here to help. So thank you for being here. All right, that's it. Let's take some pictures.